Good morning, everyone. This is Jeanette with Mountain Misters. Happy Sunday. Today's card is going to be featuring the stamp set Guy Greetings, and this is the stamp set right here. It's got a lot of fun images on it, and it's a 22 stamp set, and it's the photopolymer. Oops. And this is the card that we're going to be doing today. It's actually a shadow card, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can, when you turn it to the side, you can see a shadow behind the anchor. And this is a pretty cool card that's pretty easy to do. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is have our supplies on hand, and you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to want to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, and I've already got ahead and I've burnished that with the score. And then the next thing that you're going to want is a sheet of, this is by the Shore Designer paper, and it is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. And on the other side is little fishies, which you could use if you wanted to on that one. But I like this. So that's the side we're going to go ahead and work with today. So I'm going to take my snail adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this to the front of the card. Okay. And you're going to center it the best you can. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to do it if you open it up and it's flatter and you move the stamp set out of the way. Okay, there's that. And then the next thing I did was I cut this little piece right here, and to me it looked like rope. And to accomplish this, I used the Fiesta Time framelits, and it's this little piece that's right here, and it worked out perfectly for what I wanted it to do. So then I'm going to take my adhesive, my liquid adhesive, and I'm going to put just a little bit on here. If we can get the adhesive to come out today. I think we're a little bit clogged up. Let me see. I don't think it's going to cooperate with us today. Oop, and then it comes out too much. So then I'm just going to put a little bit on each one of the little things here. It doesn't take much. See if I could get that off of there. I'll put some there. Some there. And the last little piece, and it's stuck to my finger. So then we'll do that there and that one there. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to adhere it to the front of the card. And you can put that wherever you want. I'm just going to put it here. And it won't go on straight because it's bowed. It's supposed to hold the banner in place. But I think it really looks pretty cool. And it looked like a rope for me. So I absolutely loved it. Oops, sorry about that. And then we're going to just trim that little piece off and then just do that. Okay, so then we'll set this aside up here. And the next thing that we'll work on is we'll work on this right here. And you're going to need a square of the in color paper that is also, this is retiring, and this square is 2.5 by 2.5. And then you're going to want to take a circle punch or a framelit, and you're going to want to punch a circle in it like that. And then you're going to need a sheet of Whisper White that is 2.5 by 2.5. And then you're going to need a sheet of window acrylic, and that's also 2.5 by 2.5. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll stamp on this, And to do that, we're going to use Stays On ink and the little anchor. And the easiest way I found to do this is to line this up on my stamp press in this bottom corner. And then I'm going to put this right on top. Hold it down with my magnets. And then I'm going to take my Stays On ink. Well, what I would do is take the anchor part and I'm going to line it up in there where I want it. Then I'm going to close the lid to this and press. And then I'll bring it on around and we'll ink it with the Stays On. Normally you don't want to use Stays On ink with your photopolymer stamps, but it's okay if you clean it immediately because it does something to the stamp and it eats away at the silicone, I guess. So then you're going to come down and you're going to press this down and I'm going to rub. And the beauty about this is if you don't get it dark enough the way you want it the first time, you can reposition it. Okay, let me see what that looks like. And it actually looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to slip this right here, the white, behind this, and hold that in place again. Got my magnets stuck together. These magnets are really strong, and if they get put together, they don't want to release sometimes. And then I'm going to take some basic black ink, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this stamp back up again, and just kind of press lightly so you don't get ink all over your thing, all over your block or whatever you're going to use to stamp this with. And then I'm going to bring this back around again. Oh, it looks like I got glue on my thing. And then you're going to press again. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I'm going to ink it up just a little tiny bit more because it didn't get all completely at the top. And we'll do that again. Let's see what happens now. Okay, perfect. I'm going to put this off to the side now, but I'm going to clean this stamp really quickly first because it does have the Stays On it, and I want to clean my press really quickly too, if I can find my okay, so to clean this, I'm going to go ahead and use my stamp cleaner, and I'm going to go ahead and put my anchor on a block so I can get in there and spray with my stamp. I'm just going to do this real quickly. I'm going to do it off screen. Just want to get this off of here very quickly. Okay, and then I'm going to spray a little bit of tissue paper, and I'm going to clean it off of here also. Then I'll come back and I'll clean it better in a little bit. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll put this all together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some adhesive around the back of the circle cutout, so we can go ahead and stick the window acetate to there. Get that up in there. And then we're just going to line this up on here. Centering carrying it through the window and the where we trimmed. And it doesn't matter if it didn't line up perfectly because we can trim all this off. So I'll just take my scissors and we'll get this taken off. Okay. And then I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Oh, I see some more where I need to clear this off right here. Okay, perfect now. So we'll add a dimensional in each corner. And we'll peel back our labels on this. Take off the little dimensional backings. The Designer Series paper is going to be retiring at the end of May. So you, if you want some of this paper, you might want to take advantage of it now. The stamp set will be carrying on to our new catalog. And when you put this on here, you're going to want to offset it just a little tiny bit. So it'll, I think I keep moving the camera, sorry. You're going to offset it just a little tiny bit so it'll create that shadow effect. And there again, we're going to have to trim this again, and that's okay. And trim down here. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere it to a piece of Dapper Denim. This is measures 3 by 3, and I'm just going to use snail adhesive to put that on. You can use strips that we have, the dimensional strips, to do this with too. Just going to center that on there, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach it to the front of the card with the snail adhesive again, and I am going to position that as close to center as I possibly can, just like that. Isn't that pretty? I really like this paper. It looks like different layers of the sea. Okay. The next thing that you're going to want is 2 little banners, and I cut this with the banners framelets. Which are these right here. And I used the 2 innermost ones. I used the smaller one for a piece of Dapper Denim, and then I used the next one for the white. And I went ahead and I've already cut those. And then on this one right here, we're going to stamp the sentiment, "You are my anchor," with Versamark ink. And I'm going to try and line this up as best I can here. Just make sure when you put it down that you are stamping the right way. Just going to go down and up, and it's a little bit crooked, but I'm okay with that right now because, oh, well, let me see on the back here, we might be okay. Now we're gonna have to use this one because I don't have another piece cut really quick. I'm gonna go cut one really quick. Hang on, please. I don't like to not do things right. Just take a minute. Okay. Okay, I'm back with my little frame, my little banner. We'll try this again. Line it up here as best I can. Hopefully this is right. That's better. Still a little off, but that's okay. Then I'm going to take my embossing powder and I'm going to put a little sheet of paper underneath here, because when you put this embossing powder on, it can make everything kind of gritty underneath. So I'm just going to take this and dip it in, shake it off, dip it in, and shake it off. Flick it to try and get most of that off. We're gonna have to try again. I don't like that. Oh, I hate when you have trouble on camera. Hate it, hate it. Any other time this would have gone smoothly. Try one more time. Get this off. Okay, that's much better. And we'll I think I'm gonna do it over the lid instead. And you could rub your embossing buddy over this little piece of paper so the powder won't stick where you don't want it to. But we're just gonna flick it off, turn it and flick. Just make sure you move your embossing powder before you bring your heat gun in, or you're liable to have a mess. And you can see where I got the embossing powder right there. Stuff is gritty and it's messy. So then I'm gonna take my Stampin' Up! Heat tool. It's got two settings on it, one for drying things and one for embossing. I'm going to let it heat up for just a second. And then you can, let me kind of zoom in. So hopefully you can see this turn. Be careful because it gets really super hot. You can see it hopefully turning. Turn it a little bit again because it's getting hot. Hot. Really super hot. Normally I hold this with a clothespin. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to adhere it to the white right here. And then I'm just going to line it up into the notch of the white banner. Take the dimensional backings off again. I'm just going to kind center it right there. Down just a little bit on this corner. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere it to here with snail adhesive. And then I'm going to adhere it over here. And then just to dress this up a little tiny bit, we're going to take some accents, the in color accents. These are also going to be retiring. And I am out of the blue, so just to give this a little pop of color, I think we might use some yellow stars just to give it a pop of color. And I'm going to use my scissors and I'm just going to attach them here. I actually think that these little enamel things might be sold out already. I don't know. Okay, then just to add a little more dimension to it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some rhinestones. And I'm going to take the smaller of the rhinestones and I'm going to add 4 of them, which I already have a couple stuck to my finger, but we'll set them off to the side. This has been a fun card to make, and if you're interested in any of the supplies, just let me know. I will link all the supplies to the bottom in the description